Hey everyone, this is your boy D Soccer Fan coming at you with content, I guess, in a way that I don't usually do if it's not the Dual Lane podcast.
Oh,
Uh, I'm here with Menace, and I guess can you do a little intro if for some reason people don't know who you are?
I'm not menace, bro.
Did I say Menace?
You said menace, bro. Oh no, you're good. You're good. No, I'll be real with you. I'm 100% the reason why he's doing this content. Cause he talks all this shit about me doing constant content. I'm like, I'm gonna be real with you. You need to put up more fucking content, bro. You got to get you on that once a week grind so we can get that YouTube channel boosted. So, what's
Bro.
going on, guys? I'm Windu. Nice to meet you.
Windu, not Menace. Forget I say we said Menace. Menace who? Nah, it's Windu.
He said menace. Who? Yikes! No BM. No BM. Chill. 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 Chill.
No man. Uh, so we're here today. We're gonna talk about the patch notes and me always as nervous as much as I can. Keep on messing up these intros as usual. If you don't notice from the podcast, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about patch notes and which is the latest one in fall, which is 13.5, which brings up avatars, a couple new items, takes away new items, and new or prime. But we're gonna talk into more detail right now. Uh, to
True.
start to start with, you're gonna have a. Don't worry, I'm gonna edit this in later where you can see us scrolling, reading out
No,
the.
you're good, homie. Don't sweat it. You're good, bro. I got all the shit pulled up in front of me too.
All right,
Say less.
all right. So, for people who don't know, there was a quick hot fix in what is it May 29th, which was
Mhm.
like a week or two ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And so they just added what they did because they forgot to mention it, I guess. So it was just just straight up they fixed it. Raptor counter count. It was showing up random numbers, I guess, or the wrong numbers, I guess, which it was never
It,
an
wa- it, it
issue.
wa- no, it was trippy as shit, bro. It was one of those things where it's like, hey, we grab two raptors, right? And then you look and it's like, why does it say we got fucking seven raptors? I'm so fucking confused. Is that trying to tell us how many favor points we got, or what the hell's going on? So, I'll be real. That's a nice quality of life change that they did, Loki.
You low key, I'm just I was never paying attention to that part of the screen up there. I'd be like, all right, everybody's live, everybody's good, and then like when they added it, I was like, all right, that's a nice feature, and then yeah, that's what I said, nice feature, and never forgot about it after that. So I'm never, sorry for the art people who did that, dedicated their time to do that, and you know what I mean. Oops.
Soccer didn't even notice.
I didn't even know it was broken. So if you fixed it, I guess it was something that passed by.
Thank you.
Bruh. They also fixed an issue where the little pop up thing when you die or when you're in the little base thing, the pop up to your right, yeah, to your right. It says it was not displayed properly. That's another thing I would tell you the truth. I was like, all right, yeah, that's a nice feature. I can't do anything with it. I'm playing with my controller right here with my nice, PS4 controller. I can't use those buttons, so it's kind of a rip on that end. So when Yas said it was displaying wrong, like, I never noticed.
I mean, I'll be real with you on that one. I kind of wish that they would just kind of move. You know, like that little smart item shop. You ever notice it covers the surrender button?
Yeah, I'm not even. Don't get me started. How many times I was trying to surrender, and then people was like, "Wait, we were surrendering?" I was like, "Bro, you don't see like the little check marks at the bottom?" Oh
No,
no.
you can't see that shit. If you're dead, you are like literally instead of the surrender thing popping up in the corner, all I see is hit control and this button if you want to buy your boots. Like I can't fucking see the surrender button. I didn't even know. And then people in chat is like, please hit F1. And I'm like, we're F1ing. Damn, it's hitting y'all like that. Hold up. Let me write back real quick. I can't even see if I hit F1 or not, bro. So I just think that's in a little bit of an awkward position, but I have no idea what the whole pop-ups to not display properly means that's something I didn't notice, to be honest with you.
Nah, you know what I mean. To tell you the truth, I would have been even happier if there was like a little setting in your thing that's just like, hey, do you want this display when you're dead? Like, no, please. I do. If there was a button in settings, it's like, do you want this to ever be displayed? I'm like, no, bro. I don't want this display. It to me being a controller player doesn't help me at all. Yeah, it helps keyboard and mouse people. Yeah,
Did you know you could turn it off
nope.
in the settings, but as soon as you close your game and start it up the next day, it resets itself. So you have to turn it off at the beginning of the match again, and then it won't actually disappear until your match is over and you start the next match.
That's some wonky shit right there, bro. I I
Yeah,
I, I
work in
look.
progress.
I saw the new settings menu change and stuff, but like when 13 came out. But to tell you the truth, I never saw that. It's something that should be like I don't know. To tell you the truth, I don't know if it was even mentioned in these past patch updates. If you're able to do that, you know what I mean?
I don't.
Don't.
I never personally saw it low key, but I do feel like the option should pop up low key, like in the corner of the store somewhere. You know what I mean? Not necessarily like in your settings under gameplay or whatever, like right under my FPS or whatever the hell it is. I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it should be a little bit like more accessible or more common sense where they put it. You know?
No, and you know what I mean. Like I bottom right corner, it's fine, but just move it up an inch or two. So if people are trying to
Hmm.
surrender, at least you can see it now. If it's even if you're even half covering it, I'm not even, like, at least you see there's there, you know what I mean, like, oh,
The
what is
check
that, like
marks
a,
or
yeah,
whatever.
the check marks or like whatever it is, and like, oh, okay, I see they're trying to surrender F2 because I hate them.
I mean, I say also, if not, just move the surrender option by the chat or have it posted in chat
Or even
or
move
like
it. I'm sorry.
oh no, you're good. I was just gonna say like just somewhere where they're not overlapping each other.
uh, even if you're dead and then if you have saved the menu display is on the right bottom corner, just move it up to the middle, or I mean, I don't know if it's something layered down in the road, or where you're able to move all these icons, move these hub icons. I mean, that'd be a nice feature maybe later on. uh
They are planning on that customizable HUD.
yeah, you know what I mean, like, what I mean, at least for me it just be more of a not like, what was it, how you call it, a life,
What
what was it called?
a quality of life thing.
Yeah, quality of life thing. I don't know, to my eyes.
Yeah, I mean it's nitpicking, but at the same time, like we said, it's just one of those quality of life things that it really shouldn't be overlapping. Just low key.
All right. The next issue they face is Smart Shop to purchase multiple items of the same. Sorry, the Smart Shop would do is buy multiple stuff of the same item at once. It never happened to me. Remember, guys, I'm a controller person. Never happens to me. I'm always clicking on my items in the store, and so I don't know if that's something you also experience.
I'll be real. I noticed it, but I thought I just fucked up. Like I pressed the button, I was like, ah, shit, I bought two of them. Hold up, undo. All right, keep rolling. Feel me? I didn't. I like. It must have been like a heat in the moment thing, and I just didn't realize it. I thought it was just a personal thing. But apparently, enough people went through it. They were, it got pointed out, and at least it's fixed now.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Um, the next one is a bug a map. I can't even say it, I can't talk now. Map,
Map bug.
yeah, map bug allowing Quang to get out of the map. I didn't even know about that. I wish it was still there, so I'm able to get out. Like what? You get out the map and you're just able to walk around. Like, imagine like the possibilities. I wonder if somebody in stream did try to do that, and they're just like, "Oh, yeah, we can't have that."
I mean, that's just such a random one to me, bro. You know what it probably was? It probably was somebody was able to throw their sword somewhere where they weren't supposed to. Like just like a tiny little nick or something. And then from there, they ulted and they're like, I'm on top of a wall. fuck it, I'm jumping over the wall. And they're like, oh, now I'm stuck out here, guys. I can't even back. I broke the game. So I could see people doing that. Low-key.
Oh no, that's a really knocker one. They also fixed Bellica's passive, which it was doing double the damage. I wish I would have knew that. I would have been exploiting
Right,
the shit out
bro.
of it.
Nah, no, no, chill, 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 chill. We don't do that.
Yeah, that's why I got my old account. I get on my old account and do that shit, not my main one. I don't want people to find out that I do
Nah, no,
it.
no, chill. Only one account. Only one account.
Only.
Next.
All right, so we're gonna hit the meat and bones of the patch notes, which is, this is Pride Month, and so they're showing their love to the Pride people, and they're giving out avatars. And my favorite one, I would say, is the second one, or second or last one, because like I'm more of a blue, sky blue, dark blue. I say
I
that's
see
more
that.
sky blue. So it's just like that's my personal takes. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that you know what I mean. They're showing their love to the Pride people, and you're able to have the option of buying these avatars, and it's only going to cost you one matter, so it's not really anything.
Yeah. Arguably, it's just we have to exchange something, but they're practically free, low key, and they do look sick as fuck. Like you mentioned, like they got a different variety of colors. They got the traditional, just full rainbow colors, so to speak. They got other assortments and whatnot. Like, I'll be real with you. My favorite one probably is that second to last one because it's one second to last one or the third one from the left because they're the only ones that have a black border at the beginning and the end. You feel me?
Yeah, I definitely got. I hear it.
Kind of separates them a little bit. They got a little bit of purple in there, some grays, some whites and stuff. I was like, those look sick as fuck. I'd rock these.
Oh,
And like you mentioned, it's also nice that they're showing inclusion, so to speak, or showing acceptance. So it's a nice statement from a company to show that the company that you're supporting also supports the cause.
yeah, no, definitely. So I mean, show your love. Only one matter, bro. Like that's like basically nothing. You know what I mean? Just go buy them. Go buy out the whole set.
Yeah.
It's only gonna cost you seven.
I'm sure everybody will end up with it, low key.
All right, so we're gonna move on, and there's some new items. So I'm gonna jump around a little bit. So I'm gonna go down a little
What
bit
up?
further down, and I'm gonna talk
Okay.
about where, in general, the items that Mana Muzzle and Stormcube has been replaced in order to implement the new jungle items that are on. That we're gonna scroll back up now. That are in favor now. So you know what I mean. Just remember, no more Storm Q or Mana Muzzle. These new jungle items are going to replace those, and we're going to give our thoughts about it right now. So, Tempest Woe has a unique passive. Basic attacks deal 20% additional damage against to jungle camps or jungle minions, I guess. Healing you for 10% of all damage to the jungle camps. Unique passive when the item's complete. Completing a jungle camp grants you 60 experience and 10 restores 10% of your basic mana. Receives 60 to 80% less gold when you kill more than 15 minions every 5 minutes. And hold up for, oh, you know what? I can't do that right now because did see something in general. It was also paying about the 15 minions things, but I pop it in later, I guess. Um, says unique active is Smite, dealing 300. You already know how Smite works. If not, deal 300 damage plus 50 times the hero level, and it does true damage to minions, jungle camps, shrines.
Yeah,
Whoa,
so
whoa, whoa,
that's a big
whoa, whoa.
change. Now you can smite a shrine. Now it is worth mentioning that in these jungle items, Tempest Flow, Almighty Gale, and Rain of Fervor, the passives and the actives are all identical for all three items. What changes between these three items is the item stats. which you're probably gonna go over here in a second.
Oh no,
But yeah,
definitely.
you're able to smite a shrine now, low key, and you're able to smite a player now. It'll
Yeah,
add a 15% slow and 10% vulnerability for 2 seconds,
which
which is
is
wild.
yeah because it's something which, like I said, it's something we had to play around with, and this could easily change up how jungle camps. I guess the jungler how gameplay is because if you could come over ganking mid, you know what I mean, and you slow like I don't know. This gives me incentive to build the item fully out instead of just what I usually do
Hmm.
in jungle is just keep it AFF and that's it. Call it a day. I wouldn't even. I want Storm Q. I'm not interested in Storm Q and his stats. Not interested. Not even interested in Mana Muzzle. I don't know. It's not appealing for me when it comes to jungle. I usually either I get AFF, get boots, build out my boots, and then from there start building my items. But now with this new stats and this new active, it's a little bit more compelling. Actually building out the jungle item.
Worth mentioning also, and it's kind of weird because kind of like you jump back and forth a little bit to understand this even further. You got to go like even further down to where it says in the balance and then under items because they show that normal affliction is going to give you that extra damage buff to jungle camps. Normal affliction is going to give you the 10% heal. Normal affliction, when you complete a jungle camp, it'll give you 60 experience and restore 10% of your mana just by completing a camp, right? And normal affliction still has the penalty of if you kill more than 15 lane minions every 5 minutes, you get reduced gold for every minion after 15 in 5 minutes. So then for you to be able to get the smite active, which is, being able to smite a shrine, being able to smite an objective, players, etc., you actually have to upgrade it to the second tier, which is Storm Affliction. That's when you get all the passive stuff and the actives on top of that. And then from there, if you want the individual stats to your specific character, for example, Tempest Woe, that it gives you 65 energy power, 250 mana, 10 CDR. If you want those stats, then you upgrade your upgraded Storm Affliction into Tempest Woe. So you still can choose to go like, hey, I'm only building normal AF, but then you won't have the smite. You could do Stormed Affliction, have the smite, but maybe you don't want to go Tempest Woe. Maybe you decide to go into something like D Blade because you're the bear or some shit like that. So it's gonna offer a lot more build potential in the jungle, and I'm actually really curious to see how everything's gonna go and how people are gonna start building those.
Yeah, by any chance, do you know how much Storm Affliction is right now? Because I don't think they're gonna change the cost of it, right?
It doesn't mention changing costs. If I'm not mistaken, Storm Affliction is only 700. I could be wrong. Like 700 total, but if you take out the initial, what, 350 for Affliction, you're able to get Stormed Affliction for just another 350, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the website, but they don't have anything about it. Let me see.
I got you. I got you. In order to find it, you're gonna have to probably go into like Stormquiver or U Mantle
No, it's not there.
or
Go
Mana Muzzle.
into Mana Muzzle. Yeah,
Yeah, Mana Muzzle, 700 Storm Affliction. Yep.
yeah, 700. So if not changing the cost, what 700? And they said Tempest Woe, for example. I think they all gonna cost the same. Yeah, it's 2,000 gold. So what? That's like
Which is
1,300.
cheap. I was, well, yeah, like it's gonna be another 1300 on top of Storm Affliction. Yeah.
So that's like what? That's like yeah, that's like fully built boots, or maybe like
I mean,
and
bro, Stormquiver and Mana Muzzle cost 2200. So they're already cheaper than both of those.
And they're better stats, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
They offer better, well, better, more overall stats, but it's more of a balanced stats as well as for what I would say.
Yeah. So, for Tempest, well, the item stats is you get 65 energy power, you get 250 mana, 10 cooldown reduction, and it costs 2,000. So that ones are, I would say, what was it, like for more like
Like
ability
Sevrog,
base.
Quang,
Yeah.
yeah, Countess.
Countess.
I'm
Countess
actually,
jungle.
yeah, because Countess Jungle is a thing. I really want to see how Countess Jungle does with that. Because think about it, 65 energy power. I'm gonna be real with you. Think about it. That's more power than Mana Lens, for example.
I mean, oh yeah. Let me see. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm going back and forth looking at
No,
the
you're good. You're
items.
good.
Yeah, because
Actually, no. Mana Lens is 65 power,
and it costs 3,000.
and it costs 3,000. So
Yeah,
now for 2,000, you're gonna get the same amount of power and 250 mana and 10 points in CDR.
and then on top of that, the active, which is gonna be
Bro,
some. That's
being
gonna
able
be.
to slow an enemy,
That's
smite a shrine so you can get beefed up. Oh my lord, bro. Jungles are about to run through this.
Yo, nah. My favorite part is every time fighting over the shrine buffs and just letting the other guy just hit it down, winning it to 200. Ah, I got it. Yo, the
Bro.
the
And don't
flames is
forget, smites are gonna stack. So imagine to the point that, because again, it's 300, but depending on your hero level, you add 50 per level, right? So if
yes.
you're level 10, you just added another 500, 800 damage to the shrine. That means a shrine could literally be at 800 at level 10. You smite it, took it. Bro, supports are gonna start running these. Change my mind. Supports are gonna start running these. 100%. Because supports don't care about farming in the lane. You know what I'm saying? It's already a valid strategy for a support to grab affliction in case you have to help out with an objective, raptors, etc. So when you have a support basically burn down a shrine even faster for you, so the carry just has to come around the corner, grab gold, keep going.
Yeah, but the
The sup-
hmm. Oh wait. I'm sorry. I'm trying to consider that to like to support, but I was like, what happens if you start taking minions, but then at the same time you're not.
but you don't.
But yeah, you barely taking
Exactly.
it.
So
It's
you're not suffering from it, and then your support has 65 energy power, 250 mana, and 10 CDR. Your support low key just built a cheaper version of Mana Lens for way cheaper than Mana Lens would have cost.
yeah. I wonder how
So
the
individuals like Muriel are gonna fucking shine with this item right here.
yo Muriel was already an issue, and then on top of this, it's just like low key. I think Muriel is the top support in my opinion right now. Compared to
Yeah, probably.
Richter and Decker and Norbash, to tell you the truth.
They each shine in their own way, but as far as building ability power, for example, Muriel shines in that way because her defensiveness and her offensiveness increases, as opposed to the other ones. Like, for example, Narbash would be a close second because his health regen increases on his Song of the People if you build power. So, I mean, I could see a Narbash building this shit too. Only 2,000 gold. You get power, mana, cooldown reduction. You're able to thunk more. And when you heal for more per second because you're building ability power. I could see it. It's going to be top level plays, low key. You're going to see supports running these items. I'm telling you. That's just going to be crazy.
But let's. Do you think? Do you think they'll build
Mm.
that? You think the support will build that over? I guess say the ring or Or scry. Mm,
Here's the thing, they're not going to build it over that. Like, you're still going to see a support build Scrystone, right? But let's say, for example, we all know that that gold shrine is heavily impactful in the dual lane, right?
yeah.
So if your support can literally, let's just say he builds Scrystone, upgrades Scrystone, which an upgraded Scrystone at that point, 1250 total, right? And then from there, your support is able to build the Storm Deflection, the medium tier one, for only 700 more. Then at that point, your support is able to melt down the shrine to help you get it faster. It's your support's able to help you secure raptors. And then on top of that, if they decide to finish upgrading it or not, your support's already got their value. So literally they could just do the 700, the Storm Affliction, and then keep going to bot D or whatever. Very easy.
Interesting. Yeah. It's like I said. It's
Because
something.
it's only 700, and you're helping your carry grab gold buff that much quicker. That much quicker you grab gold buff, that much quicker your carries in lane taking advantage of gold buff.
And on top of that,
The
don't
faster.
yeah don't forget about this the other active where you slow down, where you slow them down.
True. Being able to slow down an enemy that's running away as a support, clutch with an active, clutch.
Mir you yeah playing Muriel, you hit them a couple times. You throw your little it's my square which is Q. You throw your little Q at them, and they're rooted. You get close by enough, you slow them. And that gives you
Now
enough
they're
time.
slowed while you're smacking them a couple times for another route.
Yeah, and then on top of that, if your jungler, comes in clutch and also
There
ganks at
goes a
that
second
time,
slow.
yeah, the possibilities are crazy there. No
Yeah,
man,
I can see supports running these items and taking full advantage of them. 100%. I know I'm going to.
yeah, something that we gotta try. Oh yeah, I guess we gotta try out and see how it works because if 4700, that's an amazing reality. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. The next item that was also is mighty Gale, and those stats are 400 health, 30 physical armor, and 10 cooldown reduction. Also costs 2,000 to build. So
Thank
possibly
you.
Chimera, Segoroth, Greystone, even Grux, I would say. I could see those characters
Or
building it.
Richter support.
Richter
Like, I hate
support.
to bring it back towards support, but I can see a Richter jungle or a Richter support. Just finish building that item, more health, so Richter's passive does more now. 30 physical armor, so the enemy carry won't be able to do as much to you. And 10 cooldown points, so you're able to execute your abilities faster, including that hook.
Yeah, if I'm not
Bro,
mistaken, what was it Bell
as long as
Archery?
you're not laning, you benefit from these items.
Yeah, because Storm Q originally gave you just 45 power and only 250 health, which, don't get me wrong, like, it, this gives you more health, and then on top of that, you're trading off damage for armor. But
For tankiness,
yeah,
which I'm okay with.
no, you know what I mean. Overall, it all depends on how you playing them. Because if you're if you're the jungler who's a little bit more passive, and you really want to be like really tanking and waiting until others show up to clean up, then definitely get this item because I could see the team. I don't know, like it all depends on how the game is being played and how, because like I mean the strategies are endless at that point, to tell you the truth, because everybody plays different. And so what I mean, if you're running a group, then I guess
Yeah, I would say the benefit of these and what I like about them most is that there's trade-offs. For example, you just brought up like a storm quiver, you get health and damage. Not just a little bit of health, a lot of health and a good amount of damage. Like, you really shouldn't have items that make you significantly tankier and give you power. That's why, for example, here for Almighty Gale, you see a focus on health and armor, And if you go to the next one, Reign of Fervor, the red one, you see it focus on 40 power, only 125 health. So it's like, hey, this one is focused more on physical power, but we're not going to give you that much health on it. So now you have to choose. Do you want to be tankier? Do you want to do more ability damage? Or do you want to do more physical damage? It's like you're choosing trade-offs instead of just like, yo, I'm going to pick one item that makes me tankier and gives me damage. You know?
Yeah, definitely. And then, like you said, Reign of Fur, 40 physical power, 120 health. From and then going back to Storm Q, that's only five five less power and 100 less health. Which, but the trade off is it costs 200 less. So I can see I can see Grux building this, Bear building this, Grayson,
Sure.
even
But
Grayson building this. Maybe even if you want to carry jungle, you could build this.
I mean, I could see a Kai building this too, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
Like I
Kai too.
see, like have Kai build damage with an item like this, and then who knows? Maybe his next item is Balar. You feel me? So he starts building a little bit of tankiness, but he's already got a good amount of damage. He's got cooldown. He's got health. Anybody with physical damage output is probably going to benefit out of this.
Yeah, so be careful with my Murdoch jungle right now. Just gonna gonna be
Fucking
start
gamble.
we're gonna be start ganking with this item. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy the amount of potential plays you could get.
Hmm.
And like I said,
It's
it
it's definitely
makes
going to make the jungle more interesting, the way it is.
yeah, definitely because like you said, there's just different possibilities and different heroes who could get different items. You know, now it's like not usually the default
It's
was
not either or, yeah.
yeah, the default was a you either get you have to get AFF and boots or AFF and a health pot and a mana pot. Either build up AFF to Storm Q or that's it, or you just keep AFF and just upgrade your boots and start building up your items that way. But now this gives you incentive like
I was
1300.
going to say, I can see people doing Affliction and Mana Pot because all of these, the base Affliction now heals you for 10% of the damage that you do. So if you're already getting healed, it's like a mini Chimera buff, right? If you're already getting healed for the damage that you do to these camps, and when you fully clear the camp, you're getting mana. I mean, arguably, you probably don't even need to run potions unless you want to, considering.
Yeah, no, it's I could see people still running maybe maybe no more mana pots, but maybe in a health pot, and then that's an extra 150 that you might throw. That can either win you the game later on, or that could lose you a game because sometimes waiting around you be waiting around in base, waiting for what 50, 100 gold, and you know what I mean. By while the other team could be doing some crazy ass plays, and then you're not there to help your team out. You know what I mean? That's just
Hmm.
time. Everything comes down to time and how you use it wisely in the game.
Give me.
Like to Discord just to check out the comment, the ping they posted, or whatever
Okay.
pin message. Basically, you get the reduced gold after the 15 minutes. So I
Yeah.
guess it was a little bit more, to clear it up for people who didn't understand if it was I guess when you were in lane and up to 15 minutes, and then you would just go back, or it was after 15 minutes. So the whole thing is that after 15 minutes, your gold is going to be reduced by either 60 or 80%.
So, are you saying like? Because the way I understood it was, if within a 5 minute time frame you've killed 50 minions, minion number 16 and on is reduced gold.
Yeah.
But only if you've killed more than 15 in 5 minutes. Like, let's say if I kill 10 in the first 5 minutes, then in a second 5 minutes, I kill another 10. Or let's say I kill another 15, right? 15 and 15, total 30 in 10 minutes. I should still be getting full gold for those. That's the way I see it.
Uh,
But just as long as it's not more than 15 per 5 minutes. That's how I took it, at least.
Oh wait. Yes. In general, they ping saying it says after 15 last hits in lane, you would get reduced gold from lane minions if you have smite. That's what they said. But I guess in the duration of 5 minutes, I'm gonna get a little bit more clarity on that as soon as I'm able.
Yeah, I'll ask also, but that's at least how I took it personally.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I was just gonna post something in below, be like, "Hey, it's after every 5 minutes," you know what I mean, or I'm gonna
Like
have some.
asking if the counter resets every 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm gonna also ask if it does, if there is a count, if there is such type of like HUD icon or something that tells you to indicate that, which will
That would
be.
be nice.
Yeah, that's another thing I didn't even think about. Like if there was an indicator or something letting you know, like, hey,
Like
you know,
counter.
you got 15 minions, and then it would count down, and then it would just reset. You know what I mean? After every 5 minutes,
Hmm.
or whatever how it's implemented.
Yeah, maybe it's as soon as you kill that 15th minion, maybe a 5 minute counter starts. Who knows? You feel me?
Yeah,
I
no,
guess that's just one of those we're gonna have to wait and see.
yeah, I feel you. So we're gonna move on now to map changes. Most specifically, it'd be the jungle, which they're gonna replace Prime or for Lesser Helix, which which basically just spawns at the 8 minute mark, and then as soon as you kill it, it's gonna respawn every other 8 minutes. At 8 minutes after you kill it, I'm sorry. So
But
that's
not if Orb Prime is there. Because it says right there, despawns once Prime Helix spawns.
oh okay.
So
So
what they're saying is there's an 8 minute respawn timer, but if Orb Prime is on the board, it's not gonna spawn anymore.
yeah, so if
So
I
at best you'll get it 2 times, is what I gathered from that.
mm, two, let me see. If it comes up at 8 minutes and then it has a spawner of 8 minutes, say
That's
if you get
16.
it, yeah, say if you get it in the first 8 minutes, that's 16, and then Prime
Spawns at 20.
at 20. Yeah, you're on. So you will only have two opportunities to take it, unless.
Well, if you maximize it, you'll have two opportunities. Because think of it like this: imagine it spawns, but you haven't grabbed it, and you decide to get it 13 minutes deep. That means the respawn would be at 21 minutes, but it's not going to happen because Prime spawns at 20. So that entire match, you only got that buff once. So for you to capitalize and get it twice and be able to use it twice, you have to make sure that sometime between that 8 minute mark and that 11-minute mark, you kill it. So you can have it spawn again before our Prime comes out.
Yeah, yeah, you're. Yeah, that's. It's gonna be crazy how teams implement this because if I'm not mistaken, Raptors also spawns at 8 minutes.
Six now.
Six
It used
minutes.
to at 8. They because of Prime Helix or Lesser Helix, sorry, they changed it to 6. So there's different timers throughout.
So six. For example, say you rotate to Raptors at, I don't know, one team rotates to Raptors at 8 minutes, and then you, instead of getting Raptors, you get Lesser Helix. I wonder how that dynamic is gonna turn out. What
I
what?
think that I think the team that decides to grab Lesser Helix and push the tower together, if you can get your team to coordinate like that, is going to be in a huge advantage because each individual person is going to do 15% of the turret maximum health as true damage. So with 5 people, that means you're going to be able to do 75% HP of a turret's health in one basic from 5 different people.
Which basically,
Is bonkers. That's almost a whole tower, bro.
yeah, and then they like, and that's at 8 minutes because there is also matches where you're stopping the person out, and you know you got the say the tower quarter health, maybe if you're lucky halfway there, and you get this, you're basically destroying that, and maybe even doing a quarter of a damage in tier two, and that's just
Bro, with 5 people, I can see 75% going away just from that first basic attack, and then from there, The extra 25%, five people can hit 25% of a tower quickly around 8 minutes if they work together. But that's again in the best case scenario that you're getting your team to coordinate. Worst case scenario, everybody's still split everywhere and you each do damage to your own individual tower. So each tower goes down by 15% if lucky. If you even get a tower hit, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. And like I said, would teams now this is the question, would teams rather do this and sacrifice a raptor, or would the teams be like, hey, let's go get raptor, it's going to be beneficial for the for I guess later on in the game than just getting an extra 15% damage just because of how uncoordinated the teams are.
I'll be real. I'd rather grab Lesser Helix. 'Cause how much favor does Raptor give you?
3 favor.
Exactly. Lesser Helix gives two favor to everybody that participated killing it. Everybody that's in the area, like when it's killed. Or in the prime pit, in the pit, so to speak, right? So if you kill Lesser Helix as a team, you all got two favor. So you're not behind in favor by a crazy amount, right? And then on top of that, you're already grouped as a team. You can shove as a team and destroy a tower. If you can destroy that mid tower before 10 minutes, the amount of map pressure that's going to relieve from your team, more map control overall, is huge. That's a mid laner waiting to be ganked, if anything.
But like you said, that's like the best case scenario. Say solo, jungle, and mid participate, and
Okay.
that okay. So everybody gets 2 favor, but then say their jungler, they're carrying the support, get raptor. Now you got 2 people with 3 less or 6 overall 6 less favor, which for a
True,
carry
which can make a difference.
three, or carry and support three,
Three favor can matter.
can matter because of that extra damage or whatever they're building. Either extra damage or more attack pen if they're going purple. Like I said, it depends on how people build. But like even for a support cooldown reduction, that's huge. That's huge for three. You know what I mean? For
Um, like I'll be real with you though. In the grand scheme of things, three won't make or break your team. Like for example, you need what is it? 60 cooldown points to equal 40% cooldown. So only three is what 5% of the total 60 points that you need to get to 40%. Long story short, we get without getting too much into math, 3 points of cooldown really isn't too much. Like you might be losing 1 or 2% cooldown. But because here's the thing, the Raptor is gonna keep spawning for the rest of the game. This Lesser Helix isn't. I'd rather get this Lesser Helix at 8 minutes, get it again at 16 minutes, and then Raptor, we can grab that at 10, 12 minutes. And then Raptor again, we can grab that at 18 minutes before Prime comes up. You feel me? Like
that's if
you still got more opportunities for Raptor, and Raptor will spawn for the rest of the game. These lesser helix, you're gonna get two best case scenario.
yeah, that's if only if you're playing in a heck of a match. You know what I mean? It all depends on your other team and how coordinated you guys. Because remember, if you're solo queuing this whole thing, then you know what I mean. Say if you only get it once, was it really only beneficial getting it once and then letting Raptor fall twice to your opponent? You know what I mean? If you don't get
Yeah,
it,
like it would come down to the trade-offs, but I'll be real with you. Think of it this way. Let's say Duo did not participate, like in your example. At that point, let's say we do get lesser helix. Now Duo between the two of them can take 30% of a tower in one shot. If we take out that Duo tower first, we now have Raptor control.
but okay. So if we're gonna go to that example, remember the other team got well. I guess Raptor was at 6 minutes, but say they rotated, say they both rotated at the same time,
Hmm.
and jung, you say their jungler, they're carrying their support, got Raptors, and they're like, oh, we're gonna push instead. So depend like we're just saying, we're just keeping it out there. And we're like, okay, we're
Yeah,
gonna
let's
go
say there's
ahead.
a three in one lane, two in another lane, for example.
Yeah, and then they're like, you know what? We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do some damage to the tower. But if they die in the process of doing that, and they did no damage to the tower, then and then on top of that, once you go rotate again to get lesser helix, and say they get Raptor again, like I said, now duels behind by 6, because they got to stay in lane a little bit more, and say maybe even mid lane doesn't participate that in the lesser helix again. Maybe it was just solo and jungler at that point. Then as two less for the.
Worth mentioning though, you're gonna have 3 minutes to land one basic attack on the tower. Just because we grabbed Lesser Helix at 8 minutes doesn't mean I have to do anything until the 11-minute mark. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
3 minutes, that's a lot of waves. If the enemy team is at Raptors at the same time that we grab Lesser and I'm the duo, I'm gonna back the fuck up because I know the enemy team is at Raptor. Wait till they leave, play normal. About a minute, maybe 2 minutes later, when I just happen to be on their tower, I land that one basic, bam, 15% gone. I got the worth out of it. It doesn't mean that I have to be rash about it.
But
People can still play smart.
that's best case scenario though. This is
That's
all.
just
This is
controlling my No, but that's just controlling my outcome, my 15%. I can't account for the rest of the team's percent, right? Whether they decide to die, whether they hell, they might not even hit a tower in 3 minutes. Who knows? But I know that if I'm hitting a tower, there's a good chance my support is next to me hitting a tower.
wait.
I know if I'm hitting a tower, I'm at least going to be warded up.
Quick question on that. How do you know it's three
Yeah.
minutes though?
Oh, weekly update 5/27/21 on May 27th, 2021. They mentioned it's going to be a 3 minute. It'll spawn at 8 minutes.
We're gonna clarify that actually, because they might say 3 minutes, and then they go back on it and they're like, oh, you know what? We forgot to mention it's only a minute and a half, or something like crazy. You
Oh,
never know.
maybe, but until they mention that they've changed it, I'm going based off of the 180 seconds.
Okay, which is also prime duration, right?
Mm. Uh,
Prime duration, I think, is maybe
Give
five
me one
minutes.
second. I actually have that written down. Give me a second.
Let's see. You said
Well, that's a lie. That I don't have that written down. I mean, it sounds about right. To be real with you, considering it's a helix objective, whether it's lesser helix or prime helix, about 3 minutes to get something done. Sounds about right.
yeah. Oh no, I see. I see. A weekly update 27 does say the Lesser Helix. It's a buff that each member gets for 15% 2 damage on the next turn they hit for 180 seconds. So you got 3 minutes to do whatever you want. And like you said, best case scenario is that you hit it once and then
Just
you got your worth. Worst case
get the
scenario,
fuck out.
you get it and you don't do anything with it. So
Yeah, which that would be the shame. But the individuals that did partake in capturing it did also get 100 gold, 220 experience each, and 2 favor. So even if the duo missed out, at least I know my mid, my solo, and my jungle, in your example, at least they got a nice little boost.
Just received from Caleb Stout. New message is received from
Sorry, hold
Caleb
on.
Stout.
no, you good.
My buddy decides to message me and just send me like 30 messages at the same time. All right, go ahead.
No. Like I said, this this buff, like I said, gives you a lot of potential. Remember, we also gotta remember how would this be? Would it be really snowballing at that point at 8 minutes if you get it and then you start wrecking them? Let me
Well,
like
it's only gonna be impactful on a tower. And that depends on who hits what tower if they hit a tower,
Say
right?
mid. Mid is like the one of those
Yeah, mid is the
crucial.
biggest one by all means.
Yes.
But let's say even if your entire team gets together, all five of you hit mid for 75% damage, right? The enemy team is also, if they see you grouping mid with the lesser helix, they can easily defend mid. That doesn't mean they have to let you hit it. As a defending team, getting the enemy to waste their time, if you know they got lesser helix, waste their fucking time for 3 minutes. If I know that duo lane has lesser helix still, bro, shove this lane for the next 3 minutes. Don't you let a single minion under this tower.
I don't know. Like I said, it depends on each everyone's like I guess play style because you can easily you can easily just fuck up and be like oh, and then they got their benefit, and then on top of that, if they're it's just gonna show dominance, and then at that point because you already know
Yeah,
you'll
it's
be
more
at
map pressure, but I don't think you can say that it might lead to snowballing because it doesn't have any huge impact on what you do to other players. Like your damage to other players is still exactly the same. You feel me?
no, it's gonna be the same, but like I said, towers, and then like you said, map pressure. But you know, what I mean, to tell you the truth, if you don't have save, you lose mid, right? In that example, you lose mid. Okay, you get your mid laner in back in tier two, but then that gives your mid laner potential to rotate, give your jungler also possibilities to enter their jungle, mess up their jungler, keep on rotating to other lanes, mess up other like it gets it, it could it gives you an opportunity to do lots of huge damage to the other team if the other team cannot respond well to it.
I mean, I can see it, but don't forget also, you get extra favor for taking down the first tower of the game. So if your team grabs the lesser helix, and then as a team you take down one tower, your whole team just got favor.
Which is equal to like saying if you got a
Equal
raptor.
equal to the raptor. If all five of you were at lesser and all five of you take out one tower, you literally just got the same exact amount of favor as a raptor, but now there's a missing tower from the game that puts your team at an advantage if you play it right. If, but I can see a highly coordinated team doing exactly that. I can see somebody in a competitive environment doing exactly that. Taking that, clearing that mid, relieve some of that map pressure,
Rotate
and
to raptor if raptor's up, and then there you
yeah,
go, you got your
rotate,
six
dude,
points.
rotate Raptor, play for picks, etc.
That's
There's a
crazy.
lot that can be done with it. It just depends how, of course, every individual player decides to go about it.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on now to a little bit more. I don't know if you want to talk about optimization and general stuff. If not, then we could just jump down to balance changes if you want.
I mean, we can. The only thing I wanted to kind of ask you, because I don't 100% know what this HUD change says. This says updated hero and minion HP bars to better indicate when a unit has 1% health remaining.
So for
Does
example, so in my sorry to interrupt you. In my
There you go.
eyes, when I be doing customs and stuff, when say if you're down to like 20 health, 30 health, right? That's when you're I don't know math being math, you should be at 1% or something like that. Um, there be times where I guess like when other heroes when you're bunched up together, can't easily see who's low or not in front of you, and I guess it's just like a more of an indication, be like, hey, this guy is like one hit away or something like that compared to maybe somebody with full health. Because if I
I
understand
got you.
right,
So to kind of let you know, like, hey, there's still some life here, even though his health bar is basically empty, sort of deal.
Yeah,
Like
so
just clear indicator.
it might confuse people. It was like, oh, his health bar is empty. He should be dead. But you can live for like 2 health. Technically,
True.
technically that is, and that's like barely no. When you see the health bar, it's empty because it's only two. It's only what 0.0001% of your health. Like you're
Hmm.
technically dead, but that I guess for a regular player, they would just
Just
assume that
just
they're
to help
dead.
people see that. Yeah, just to help people see like, hey, he's still one hit away, as opposed to he should be dead. He doesn't have any life. This like it's a glitch or whatever. Just to help clarify. So I mean, I guess I can see that.
Yeah. All right, then we're just gonna skip over all these optimization stuff. Just it's
We
not
talk
time.
about the heroes.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about balances and all that stuff. Huge jungle changes, jungle minions, and all those buffs. So now physical damage has been increased for jungle minions from 13 to 48 to 30 to 90, which is yikes.
A
They're gonna
lot.
they're gonna they're gonna hurt.
They're s- they're gonna slap, bro. And their basic attack timer got increased. So not, if I'm not mistaken, what this means is they're going to hit you harder, but just partially slower swinging, like ever so lightly. So it's a little bit higher DPS, but it shouldn't equal out to too much, if I'm not mistaken. But as just as far as like damage goes, like when you have, those scenarios when you're jungling and you can tell that three minions are really fucking you up, but as soon as you kill one, two minions hitting you is like, okay, I can kind of handle this now.
Yeah, definitely.
Now that's I can people are probably going to be able to feel more, to be
Yeah,
honest, because starting off at 30 per hit up to 90 per hit, yo, three minions just hit you one time each, level one. They just did 90 damage to you, and your total health bar is 450, 500. Yikes, bro.
that's if
That
you're an
minion can
actual
melt you.
jungler though. Because if you're say if your count is, if I'm not mistaken, Kalar or anybody other than an actual jungler, you're only at like 200. If I'm not mistaken, Murdoch is at.
Oh, that's a good point. There's a lot of people that are a lot lower as far as health wise. Don't forget the new affliction is automatically going to let you heal for 10% of whatever damage you do. So
That's
that's
it.
got to be considering that also.
That's if you're able to clear it fast enough. Because if you don't clear
True.
it fast enough, then there you go. You got defeated by the jungle camp, and that's in the beginning. That's huge. That's like really huge if you just die to a jungle camp because like what you spawn 2 or 3 seconds, but remember now you're behind because you gotta make up time heading to the jungle and then clear out that camp, same camp again, while the other
Well, they
jungler.
also decrease the energy armor off of those by half on all those jungle minions. So that means arguably any caster is now going to be do even more damage, quite a bit more damage to those. Be able to clear easier, maybe even because you see that their health isn't changed, so it's
No,
still the same amount of health.
yeah, no, that same health. Like you said, base attack timer. They're gonna attack a little bit slower, but not by that much. Energy armor has been decreased from 20 to 10. And another thing, experience has been. They're gonna give you less experience now. Instead of 72 in the beginning, it's gonna give you only 44, which what is it? It
I think
make
that has to do more with the fact that you're now with an affliction, even the standard affliction, you're now getting health and mana every time that you clear a camp. Like just doing damage to the camp gives you health. Clearing the whole camp gives you mana. So since you're getting health and mana, maybe they're just taking the experience away, causing you to be like, hey, you can survive in the jungle longer now. So stay in the fucking jungle and keep farming. Low key. That's the way I see it.
I don't know. Like I said, it's something. It's something that we might talk in paper, be like, hey, here are the stats, here are the numbers, but then it'd be another thing actually playing it and getting the feel of it,
No, yeah, of course.
because like I said, it's really hard to. I don't like I said, I don't know how. much of an impact this might be, because if you're like, say you're 2 levels behind somebody trying to gank, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge, because like at the same time, maybe maybe by doing more the shrines or anything, more objectives like that, you're able to recover that level back up a little bit better. But
But don't forget also after the last jungle update, they made it so the jungle levels of the minions, so to speak, scale as the game goes on based off of average hero level. So, like for example, level 1 jungle minions might only be worth so much, right? But as the game progresses, like let's say you're doing well as a jungler, those jungle camps might be significantly easier to take with that affliction. So if you're clearing those jungle camps way faster, maybe it's a way to prevent you from getting too fed too fast instead.
I don't think
Because
you're
you're doing extra damage to the jungle camps with affliction too.
I don't think you're able to clear the jungles as fast now, just because maybe the increased damage might actually do something. Because remember, it's not 1348 anymore. It's 30 to 90, which is, if say
Yeah,
already at
it's a
max.
yeah, it's like a double jump essentially, as far as metrics, more or less. But like damage, but again, don't forget that their health hasn't changed. They still have the exact same amount of health, but you hit harder just because you have affliction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's just, huh. It's something that, like I said, it's something that you gotta play out and get the feel of.
Mm-hmm.
And then
By all means.
the rev buff, which is Fire Golem, they changed its armor. So it used to be a flat 10. Now it's just it's a but that's a typo. It says -10. It's not -10. It's 10.
Okay.
Re-
Thank you for clarifying.
wait. Now,
Is it? Did you
yeah.
confirm that?
No, I haven't confirmed it. Oh, I'm talking shit already.
Oh, okay. I
I thought it was
he
a
said I'm
typo.
talking shit already.
Yeah, I thought
Well,
it was a
I mean,
typo.
so here's my thing on it. I
Yo.
don't see why it would be -10, right? But then again, I didn't know what the physical armor for that buff was before. You feel me?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that information. So seeing it the whole -10 and now 10 to 20, I would say it's a fair assumption to assume that it was at 10, but now it's a scaling armor from 10 to 20. But that's just something that we're gonna have to low-key clarify.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
gonna.
get back to people on that one, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Cause Jesus, honestly, my bad, guys.
You
Don't.
imagine now it's 3 times tankier? Like, whoa.
I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, there's gonna be something written down there to clarify if it is -10, or or if I was talking shit and it was -10, or if not, it was 10. But you get less experience now. It's what I say. In the beginning, it's not.
Which it's not much in the beginning.
Yeah,
Negligible. It just means later on, when especially when you're way stronger and you're three hitting red buff, you can't use it as much to feed, to kind of as an experience boost.
no, yeah, definitely. Because in the beginning, it's only a difference of what, it's 11 of the difference, but in late game, it's about
80ish,
eight, yeah,
85.
85. Which, like I said, I don't know how a lot of math involved, so I don't know how that it's
Well,
gonna.
85 experience doesn't make that much of a difference. The problem is when you're getting 85 experience every 90 seconds, an extra 85 experience every 90 seconds, you can easily start stacking. You feel me? You can collect up to 15 for full rewards, or at 16 and on, it'll be for reduced gold.
And
But once that 5 minute timer is gone, you're welcome to hit a minion again for full gold up to the 15 threshold. And as soon as you kill a minion, you will get a new 5 minute timer, keeping track.
and now my question is, after that, is that okay? Say if you continue attacking lane minions, what is the reduced gold after that? Like, say, is it from 16 to 16?
60 to 80% scaling.
Okay, I guess
Six,
it scales to
60
your
to eighty
level,
percent
right?
scaling. Yeah, depending on how far along in the game it is, because you can clear minions faster, etc. But there's definitely a point of diminishing returns as soon as you kill too many minions, and it's almost made to encourage junglers to go farm in their jungle, stop farming off of the lanes and trying to get big off of the lanes, and almost punishing a jungler that decides to stay in the lane, wiping too many minions, when they easily could have just continued to grow if they would have just stayed in their jungle.
I see. So, from where we left off, it was we were talking about the changes to blue buff now,
Hmm.
which it does more damage. It scales from it used to scale wait used to
Just
scale
the initial
from
damage,
initial damage, which is 50 to 200. Now it does 65 to 200,
which is that's not too horrible.
which they also changed the physical armor, which was from a flat 10, same with red buff. Now it scales to 10 to 20. Um, its energy armor has been increased from 15, also another
The
typo,
20.
to 20,
Yeah.
and also um, decrease experience from. Hold up.
I like 10 or so on each side. Nothing too crazy
Yeah, there's
as
a
far as the experience. What I'm definitely seeing is that, for example, the blue buff with would be more beneficial for mages, right? Or individuals like Quang, Countess, where that cooldown reduction comes in handy or whatever.
yeah.
The blue buff just has a straight 20 armor off rip on energy armor. It's not a scaling armor like physical is.
I'm sorry. I'm still hold up on the. I'm reading on the experience things, and they also have a typo,
Hmm.
which is it's fucking me up a lot. so,
What do you mean?
so if you go back to red has from 231 to 312 to 220
Hmm.
to 397, which I think it meant to be 229, 297. I'm sorry, right?
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, like the experience got reduced, but it looks like in red buff it got increased like crazy.
Yeah, by 80, which is
I'll
like,
confirm.
yeah, I think it's just a typo. Thank God we're doing this. We're doing.
Right? Thank
we
God we're verifying all this shit live because we're about to have an aneurysm just reading this.
oh jeez.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. We're here to check clarify on all these mistakes they're making. I'm gonna take it up to Ryan Red and be like, we can't be
But
having these mistakes,
it's
man.
yeah, I mean, everybody's human. It's possible to easily just do a tiny little typo, right? Um, it's just funny that it wasn't 100% proofread before it got sent out,
Nah,
to be honest.
there's little its and bits about it. Everything, yeah. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I'd be reading it. I'd be like,
Like
okay, and then I'd be like,
like
wait,
if a
what?
word is misspelled, yeah, if a word is misspelled, I don't care, whatever, it happens. But like when you just pointed out 397 and 297, I'm like, hold up, that's 100 points of experience difference. Like which one are you trying to tell me?
And like I
Like
said, that's huge implications because if somebody's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I read the patch notes," it's supposed to give me,
I'm gonna
right?
start red buff instead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna focus on red buff because it gives you more experience now instead of less experience. Which
Hmm.
it's trying to say, it's trying to state out it's supposed to give you less, and I'm like, oh, uh,
So I'm asking and I'm confirming right now to see if that is a typo. Let me see.
if it's not a typo,
But
I
yeah,
think
if it's not a typo, that literally means red buff might be worth more later on. Considering it applies as slow, who knows? Might be a possibility. Um, but I'll have an answer before we finish the video if you want to go ahead and move on to like the hero changes and stuff like that.
yeah, because jungle items, rarely explained them in further on the beginning of the video when we were talking about the new jungle items. So just scroll back and get our ideas about that. Hero changes now. So Gatch's Q, mine, the mine little personal thing. It's time to reduce from 0.15 to 0.1. So that's the time of, I guess, when you throw it and
Or
then
it connects to you.
yeah, it connects to you. Uh, but the trade off is that his radius is increased by only 20 units, which it
I don't
might
think it's a trade-off because if you think about it, the mine latch time reduced. So that means before it took 0.15 seconds for it to grab onto you. Now it's only zero point 0.1, so it's actually grabbing onto you
much quicker.
much quicker. Well, not much quicker, but you get it. Just like marginally quicker. And then considering the radius is also bigger, that just means her bomb is gonna grab people faster. And it's gonna have a larger radius. So her bomb low-key just became a little bit more relevant.
No, and then a time, like you said, if the time if the time to connect to you is less, that means it's gonna do damage much quicker. In that, in that sense, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken, and then if you're yeah, so if it connects faster to you and it has a larger radius, it's gonna explode quicker, right? Well,
The time of detonation doesn't look like it actually gets affected. It's just how quickly it attaches to you and the radius that it scans to attach to you.
okay,
So that's just more of increasing the effectiveness of the bomb, not necessarily the damage output or how quickly it explodes. You get me? Just like increasing the chances that it actually grabs the right person, I guess. So it doesn't be like, oh, you walked out just in time. Now it grabs you even faster. There's a
okay.
bigger radius.
More changes to Gideon now. Its max range on a right mouse click is from 1800 to 1700, which if I'm not mistaken, the patch before this also reduced it from 1900 to 1800, right?
I don't know if it was the exact patch before this, but he had that did get reduced a little bit, yeah, before.
Yeah, I remember getting it reduced by at least 100 units. Now it's another 100 units. So it's 1700 units, which to me, I don't see being that affected that much, to tell you the truth, because it still does. There's no nerfs to damage or anything like that, so it's still gonna hit as hard. Just if you're lucky by 100 units, you know what I mean. You barely escape it.
Yeah, bro, like I'll be real with you. I have zero understanding. Excuse me. I have zero understanding as to why they're leaving Gideon be as strong as he is right now because he's a fucking menace. He's a menace. He literally is like the third most damaged hero in the game currently after like Murdoch and Twin Blast. It's ridiculous. He's doing carry types of damage. And their only solution is to nerf his right mouse button range by like 5%. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like I understand how that might be impactful, but I don't think the range was the issue. I think the issue is just the fact that this guy hits like a truck and he can throw a free right click if he wants to
yeah, because you right click and
because of
then
his
you
passive.
your Q, and then there you go. You got another right click, and then it's like you said. If you're if you're right in front of Gideon, that's it. You're done. This doesn't change the amount of damage it does. It just you know, like if you're if you're under tower and he comes up and attacks you, you're able to get away. Might barely get away. From getting hit. But if you're
Let
right in
me
front of him, that's it. You're dead. There's no.
let me put it to you this way too. The what is it? Average basic attack, ranged basic attack is like 1400, 1450 units.
I.
So
Yeah.
even being outside of my basic attack range as a carry, he can still hit me with that rock, which is a nuke.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what I mean? If Yeah, because I think his teleport doesn't even go that far. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's I don't know, I don't remember the exact range on his teleport. I can easily look it up for you while we talk. They also mention here that his teleport, the casting time, got increased. So now he can't just summon his teleport that fucking quick. Now it's marginally slower by the time his teleport actually pops up. Which I find that to be a more interesting change, to be honest. Oh, by the way, teleport distance is from 1200 scaling all the way up to 1500 units. So at max level, his rock is still hitting, his right mouse button is still hitting further than how far he can teleport away from you at max level.
That's crazy. You can't. So chances of you getting away if you're not Gideon is like from getting a hit. That's crazy. That's slim to none right there.
Bro,
You're
it's ridiculous. Like you literally have to bob and weave and hope that he doesn't land abilities on you and just keep running because his movement ability is arguably the best in the game. Also, on top of the fact that he's got crazy range, crazy damage power, he also has arguably the best movement ability, a teleport that you can point in any direction and your team can follow.
no, and then on top of
It
that, like, and if I'm not mistaken, let me see. You got your 1700. If nobody else has a, let me see. I was thinking about Twin Blast's jump. I don't think his jump is like what. Let me see. His E, it's only 700 units. So it's like what you and it
Dude,
every
as Twin Blast, you can dash twice and still be within range of that right mouse button.
and it has a
Let that
huge
let that sink in.
no in the hitbox. His hitbox on our in his right leg is still big, right? If I'm not mistaken, like you think you might
It
dodge
got
it.
it got reduced at one point, but it's definitely not as small as a Narbash Thunk, to give you an example.
No, because like so there is cases where you think you missed like say you Bobby Weave go towards the left and you see it like
Like just
you
barely nick you, but it's still connected.
yeah and it's still connected and it you know the only thing he needs is that one or two abilities to disconnect so he can re-hit you again with that ability. And like I said, if he's already hitting like a truck, so by that point you might as well just be like, hey, you know what, kill me because there's no point of me trying to escape.
Yeah, I don't know why these are the two changes that they made to him. Considering that he's becoming such of a menace, considering that Gideon, like, when you consider everybody else's pick rates vary anywhere from like 30 to 70%, right? The
Yeah.
fact that Gideon is at 96% pick rate right now is crazy.
No, because well, it's not even that crazy because if you just put, he's overall one of the best mid laners, and to tell you the truth, why wouldn't you pick Gideon? It's like if you don't pick
No,
Gideon on your
yeah, I know.
team, you're just kind
You're
of
low-key throwing.
yeah, you're low key throwing just because of the amount of damage you're doing, his whole kit, his whole teleport is so useful for his ult, and you could go up there and nobody's gonna touch you, and or it could essentially bring the whole team to a team fight that they're not expecting. It's just so much you can use so much on getting it, and like there's basically no trade off of there.
You're you're pretty safe in the mid lane too by having that teleport. He's just in a really, really good spot. Arguably too good of a spot, and I don't know. I just think he should have been nerfed harder. But we can keep on going because we can literally sit here and talk about Gideon all fucking night, to be real with you.
I then Grimm's Q is not back. Is stronger by 40%, which is wait, his when they say they increase his knockback, he's not
His
damage.
displacement. Like when you get hit with his yellow stance Q, the one that pushes you to the side,
Yeah.
now it pushes you 40% further.
Okay, so it's not. I was about to say if 40% increase with strength by 40%, but it meant like damage. He low key
Yeah, I know.
is
That's
like
why they put knockback strength, like specifically, not like, damage numbers or whatnot. So it's literally like, hey, before it used to move you this much out of your way where you were at. Now it's gonna move you this much out of the way. You feel me? So you'll be displaced more. A good Grim can lob the orb over you and push you back towards him. You feel me? A good Grim can hit you with the orb and just get you away from him. Like let's say for example, if a Chimera jumps on you with a Grim, you can throw that orb right on the floor right in between you two and push the Chimera back. But now he's pushed back 40% further.
Yeah,
So
and it's still
it gives him more defense versatility on him.
yeah, no, it's still within range to hit him too. So you know what I mean? You're on top of it. Yeah, it just gives him more of an escape, I guess, in a
More
sense.
utility. Yeah, more utility, so to speak, overall.
So you know what I mean? I'm just gonna continue. Either I'm gonna see him more in mid now or more in off lane, just because of that.
True.
Maybe.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Because he's a little bit he can be a little bit safer with his ability.
You know what I mean?
And then I was just gonna say, and then Richter's E, the radius got increased by 60 points. I personally don't know why.
I
Like
think
Richter's E, his AoE, it's always been a hey, if I'm hitting them with my basic attack, my E can hit them, right? Like you got to be in basic attack range for that E to hit them.
well, you know,
Why did
I'm gonna put my conspiracy, well, my tinfoil hat on, and
okay.
I think, you know, Pappy gave some amount of money to the developers to, you know, buff Richter.
I can't, bro. Hey, Pappy was actually very happy about it. I talked about that little update to him, and he said he like that he was happy. He's like, "Yo, getting a little buff because it's not like the damage is getting increased. It's literally just the radius."
No, but
Like,
he's already a really good hero, and then like giving
I
him,
agree. I didn't think this change was even necessary, is what I'm saying.
I would have liked more to a little bit more tweaking with his pull. To tell you the truth, maybe not
Hmm.
actually, you know, giving more range to Z necessarily. You know, I would have messed around with maybe.
I think an adjustment with his ultimate and his pull would have been more impactful. Like for example, his ultimate, maybe the cast time, maybe working on somewhere like that, or similar to how they did with Sparrow, how Sparrow now shoots 4 extra arrows to the sides, and they adjusted the degree that those come out.
Mhm.
They could easily adjust the degree that his tentacles come out, or the speed that those get deployed. You feel me? To try and make him more impactful or less impactful, etc. How they want. I don't know. I just personally think increasing the radius of this E is just not what the character needed, personally.
And quick question: these are all, if I'm not mistaken, devs and testers feedbacks, right, on all these changes, and they're just waiting to see how the public reacts. If I'm not mistaken.
What do you mean? Like who makes the choices as far as these changes?
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, the way it works is the devs propose a change, or let's say the devs change something, right? They get tester feedback, they go back and forth, and even though, like, let's say for example, even though the testers could all say no, we don't like it, but it still is up to the dev to say yes or no. You get me?
Definitely.
So who officially influences these actual decisions? We don't know. You feel me? Who has more say? Who doesn't? We don't know. Is it one of those things that, hey, this is what the testers thought would be a good idea? Or is this just what the developers thought would be a good idea? Those are just like the unknowns. All we know is that all these changes are a result of developer and tester collaboration.
I see. All right. Overall, what do you think about this patch? Um, I guess, you know, positive,
I'll
negative.
be real with you. My favorite part's the avatars. Like I think the jungle items are going to be borderline game breaking. They're going to have to adjust some of those, as you know, like we were saying, once we get into real world examples, right? As far as hero balances, I still think more hero balances are needed. I think the lesser prime helix is going to be impactful, but not as impactful as some people may think. And quite frankly, I just want more items. I'm glad that they added jungle items, but I'm not a jungler. I'm not going to use these. I want just like other items. But the fact that they're now adding items on a bi-weekly basis, if even if it's just one item like we saw, kind of dope. Oh, by the way, I did confirm the fire golem and the blue buff, the max experience is 297. That's also a typo.
So that's also a
Confirmed.
typo. I wonder how many
Confirmed.
changes they're gonna do before before we end this video.
I know, right?
We're gonna come back and it's like, hey, you know, This is whatever we got. This is the numbers we got. But anyway, um, to agree, I'm gonna agree with you on the avatars. Dope as shit. I'm gonna agree on you with the jungle items. I don't know how they're gonna tweak them, if they're gonna tweak them at all. Maybe they're just gonna leave it the way it is. Maybe it's not as impactful as we think it might be.
True.
Who knows? It depends on how the player base reacts to it. And Leslie Helix, I'm gonna disagree on you on that one. I think it might actually be a game
Think it's gonna
changing
wreck shit.
thing. Yeah, it might. Like as of now, we're seeing it close eye and be like, oh, it might not wreck shit, but in game, anything can happen. To tell you the truth, anything can
True.
happen in game. So it might.
Once you put it into practice.
I think. I think it is gonna be game changing, and hopefully it doesn't negatively impact the game as much as it's trying to be more of a positive thing for objectives for players in the game.
Mm.
So yeah, that's overall I guess our ideas, our feedback on the patch notes 13.5. Uh, thanks for being with us, guys. Big shout out to
Subscribe.
I was gonna say Menace. I don't know why.
No, bro. Don't fucking call me menace. No offense to the homie.
No offense.
Don't call me menace.
I was gonna say big shout out to Matt, and then I was like, to Windu. Oh my god. And then I mean, this can't subscribe, hit that bell, watch my podcast stuff if you want to watch much older content. It's there too. Give me feedback on if you want more content like this. Always helps me to do, or to what I need to make.
Create content in general.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I see you guys for the next one.